Yeah, that's sweet.
Feel fresh now after having a shower.
Yeah, I feel real fresh.
That's yours as well, bro.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, episode 6, Matt Gibble podcast. We've got, is it Beau McKay?
Mackey.
Mackey.
Yeah. Gets confused a little bit.
Do people ask you if it's Beau McKay?
Yeah, well, up where I live especially, you get a few different variations from a lot of international kind of baristas and whatnot, but it's Mackey. Closer.
Perfect. And stars have aligned perfectly for this. We don't open on one till a bit later today. You're in the area. And it's cool because we're going to drop in and connect anyways. And we'll get into how that sort of arised. But then, we grew up in the area together. And that's the thing, I don't know much. I remember seeing your face on I think Instagram was people you may know. And I was like, I've seen this lad before. I know he's from the area. And it was just we were in the same sort of, I think in Penrith, we were in the same sort of perimeter, but didn't connect where we were at parties and stuff together and stuff like that.
I remember, I was thinking about this the other day. So it was I kind of knew what you were doing with G3 and whatnot. And then I think it was with Seb, maybe?
Yep.
At Stanhope?
Yep.
The opening?
Yep. Yes.
And I remember going there with Parksy.
True.
Because I used to hang with him a lot.
Yep.
And that kind of group.
Yep.
And I think that's where I first actually seen you, but we didn't connect properly. Yep. And then I hung around a lot of the Penrith boys. Yeah. Very different life then.
Yeah. And were you originally from the area or were you?
So I was from the Hawkesbury.
Okay.
So from the Hawkesbury, but I was all over the shop. So in that aspect, I played footy for St Mary's, played football for Eastern Suburbs, went to school at Seven Hills, Sports High.
Yeah.
I was kind of hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
But a lot of time in Penrith with that older group, which I wouldn't change for the world, but it was definitely a wild few years.
Journey, yeah. And then, and that's the thing, when I seen you and then we've connected, we'll go back to how it all started, but when I seen your socials and then I clicked on your page and I seen what journey you're on, straight away it was just one, this is sort of my type of vibe. Two, it'll be cool to hear his story of how this has all transpired, which we'll most definitely get into. And then we just connected, and then we just reached out to you, and I'm and then followed each other, had some conversations, and then now we've connected, and obviously do breath work and stuff like that. We're having conversations about you doing some stuff here at Unwind, which will be amazing, especially for the area. But yeah, bro, let's go there. Where do you want to start? Your call.
Wherever you want to, man. What have you got? What part of the journey do you want to kind of start from?
Let's start from the journey of you in the area doing your thing, and then that transition. But then also too, what have you gone back to, whether it's childhood and stuff growing up, to maneuver you through this period, and how did call it the penny drop? When did the penny drop for you?
Okay, so I grew up in the Hawkesbury, man. Lived a very different life at that point. I hung around with a lot of older people. I'm still only 26 at the moment. Okay, so like yourself and a lot of the others were in that 30s and whatnot, which was cool. I was the younger kind of fella of them all. But it got to a point where it was pure ego, to be honest. I was living a life that wasn't sustainable. It was an environment that I wouldn't change because it shaped me into who I am. Yeah. Okay, but looking back, it wasn't normal. Then it was getting to a point, man, where my health, I always played football. Father instilled discipline in us. We always boxed. We played football. We were always active. Okay, but it was getting to a point where I was partying a lot. I abused narcotics. I was a pure product of my environment. There's a few stages in my life. One specifically, I'll be honest. I was down the beach one day and talk about the penny dropping. And we're down at Coogee. I was off work with an injury, so I'm a chippy by trade as well. And I think it was my 18th birthday coming up. And I was with two of my mates, and we're down there training because they didn't work. So it was easy to hang around them often, okay? And I was super excited. I was like, it's my 18th birthday soon. I think I'm going to do this. And both of them kind of looked at each other. And one of them goes, I was better than mine. I was in Supermax. And the other one goes, that's all right. I was in Lithgow. And I'm like, fuck. And my heart was just like, is this it? Like, is this what I really want to do? And then 10 minutes later, like, there's a group of other dudes that I knew and were friends with as well. So I was mutual. One of my mates was mutual, but the other one fucking robbed them. And there was just a big brawl at Coogee down on like the beach. And mate, I was just like, this is a sign. Like,
You're in the
you're a
middle
product of it. I was like, dude, I was like 20 at this age. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I was good at what I was doing, but it's not something to be good at. And I'm like, this has to change. So then I kind of, from there, I guess I kind of woke up a lot at that point. That's something, that 10-minute period of my life is something that I've only, to be honest, told a few people about, because it's like, it's something that I say proudly, because I still, I like them men, but I just don't participate in any of that lifestyle anymore.
Yep.
And it's something I'm grateful that happened, because fuck, it's still real when I talk about it. And that there specifically was a big turning point, man.
And what was the action? So when that happened, so you were 20 and these boys were
30, mid-30s.
Okay. And you automatically grow up a lot faster when you're automatically around those people.
Massively.
You know what I mean? And you just, but then it's like coming back. It's like, hang on a second, I'm still young. Like you know what I mean? What were you, 20 at the time?
I was talking, I don't even think that, man, because it was my 18th or my 21st. But I think my 21st, I was just after I moved up north. So I think it might have been my 18th I was talking about, and these boys were talking about where they spent their 18th. And I was like, this isn't what I want to do. Like, it was cool, and I'm still on good terms with everyone, but I kind of, from there, I looked to, I still carried on for a little bit, I'll be honest. Yep. And then, again, there was a few other things I seen with them not being able to travel and their relationships with their partners and stuff like that. And I was like, this isn't what I want to do. So I stopped doing what I was doing and partaking in my side of them things. And I, stopped partying, man, and got clear, moved out of my hometown.
Yep.
Had a little kind of business idea with a friend. It didn't work, but I learned a lot from it. Moved to the Gold Coast. It wasn't for me. I didn't party, so I was waking up training. I was living in Bundall originally, so I was running through Surfers Paradise, getting constantly reminded that wasn't what I wanted to do.
People were leaving the clubs and you were doing a
correct
10K trot.
Yeah. So then that was just more of a reminder. Then I was there for not even 12 months. I visited Lennox Head and I had this soulful feeling. And it was a feeling that I knew I could not follow. Yeah. So I did what I had to, packed my shit, moved to Lennox Head, knew no one.
I was about to say, did you know anyone in that trip? Wow.
Nah. So I moved, Lennox Head's a beautiful little beach town, man.
Yep.
I moved there and I still remember moving there, like being on the phone to my old man, and he's like, just go and watch some A-grade footy. And I'm like, Dad, it's surfing here. Like, it's not really, it's not Western Sydney anymore. Like, it's a bit different. It was hard for him to comprehend, like, why I was there and knew no one. And, and man, I spent so much time by myself.
And I think that's the biggest part of being on this journey is you don't learn about yourself unless you spend quality amounts of time by yourself. Like, it really instills this part of you that you just keep accessing deeper and deeper layers of yourself. And, unless people say be who you are, it's very difficult, I feel like, for a lot of people because they don't know who they are, because they don't spend time by themselves to actually find out or dissect or break up things about them to understand what they actually are about.
Well, the world's not set up for you to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
The world's full of stimulation, man. So unless you really, I believe as a man, it's important to, because it's like, I grew up with the best father figure I could think of. My dad's my best mate, but still the fact of I had to go through that period of my life. So like I moved, even on the Gold Coast, we ended up having a bit of a blue, the fella I went up there with.
Okay.
So I was even by myself up there. So didn't know people in the Gold Coast. I was just training, working, moved down to Lennox Head. Like I said, knew no one and spent a lot of time by myself. Learned to use that time wisely as such. Like I found meditation just before. Okay, so that was a big turning point as well. Because then I had a few realizations that everything in my, we'll call it old life, is in Western Sydney. I was searching for externally. Like it was everything that I wanted was internal. Yep. You have to sit with yourself long enough to realize that. And then from there, it wasn't easy, but it's a journey I'm grateful to have undergone. It was long, it was quiet, but even down to the whole food thing now. Like that's something I'm so passionate about. And I remember a couple of thoughts, man. It's like, I know I've got to eat for the rest of my life, so I've got to learn to romanticize this.
Yep.
live in an area where produce is abundance, and it's like I found a deep love for cooking. I found a love for food. I found a love for stillness, sitting by the beach, learning to journal. All of these things just started happening, man. And then I started attracting some beautiful people up there. And then the journey just kind of continued, I guess. I call it like a positive spiral.
So when they say, like, you know, say we call it spiritual awakenings, because that's what the best way to probably put it is, they say it's either spontaneous or there's like a T in a section. You know what I mean? It's funny because it's like a lot of people that I speak to, it's like there was a turning point. It was either you go left or you go right. You know, where for me personally, mine was very spontaneous. It just happened during COVID 2020, and things just happened, you know?
Yeah.
So that was sort of my thing, because, you know, my list of things were sweet, you know, but there was a part of me that was like, there's still more. And it was me looking outside for that thing where it was really inside. So it wasn't until I started once again meditating, reading, listening to podcasts about self-development, accessing this part of me, learning to love myself, build a relationship with myself. And that's when like my sort of journey continued on, and it hasn't stopped, because it was very spontaneous. So for you, like that stuff at the beach and stuff like that happened, but yours seems like it was slow and continuous and very spontaneous as well.
So it was for a while, even a little bit prior to that. So I have always been an inquisitive fella, and I didn't like authority. I didn't understand how the world was set up and people would just tell you what to do. But I probably acted against that in a way that I probably shouldn't have. But again, I wouldn't change.
Yep.
Okay, so I've always been super inquisitive about what this life actually is, why we're here.
Yep.
And
The
it would
meaning of
always
life.
ponder, man. And I could never understand it. And I remember getting to a point too, and I remember voicing this to my first partner and even my family at one point. And I was like, no one fucking understands me. But then I had the realization one day, I was like, I don't understand myself.
Yep.
I was like, how can I voice this on you and put this on you when I don't understand me? And then I started really thinking, and then the whole COVID, and then everything just started really making sense. And I'm like,
Go inside.
Okay, so then the whole meditation thing was big.
Yeah.
I had a couple of little, I'd say little experiences, but I was able to reach some points, man, that were beautiful.
Just through meditation.
Bliss.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on my balcony and like getting to this point of not knowing where I was, and time was just still, and it was just, I was like, fuck, how do I do this? Like, this is it.
And it's natural.
And it's like, and then, yeah, down the track, that kind of ventured into the whole breathwork thing. But meditation, I left home and I found myself through meditation. I found God within myself through meditation. Okay, everything started to make sense.
Yep.
And I'm like, when things start to make sense, I'm like, these are aligning. Like, I'm doing this for a reason.
Yep.
And then you just start to build trust. And then from there, it was like I found this whole breathwork thing, and that just cracked me fucking wide open.
Yeah. I love that. And especially how one thing leads to another. And that's the thing. If your intuition, if it feels so right, that's what a lot of people struggle with feeling. If it feels so right, continue. Just keep going. Whether the mind could have easily flipped out in that point after going, you know, having the breakup with the mate, and then going, we're not going to go to Lennox Head. We're just going to go home and go back to the way it was. Your soul was like, no.
Yeah.
Your intuition was like, no. We've got to go. And once your intuition becomes a lot stronger than the mind, I feel, you start to move intuitively. You use the mind for specific parts, you know what I mean? But then your soul starts to guide the way. And it's like magic. It's insane.
You get that gut feeling, right? And it's like we all know about that when we're younger. It's like trust your gut. But it's like we're never actually taught to trust our gut. Your stomach's your second brain. Like when we were born, your brain and your stomach were connected until your spine grew, which separated them.
Yeah.
And if you've seen a photo of that, a spine's like a tree. And it's like, but we're never actually fully taught to trust your gut and trust your intuition. And then the way that society's set up is most people's stomach is not clear. They eat shit foods, what we call them foods. It's all fake. But their whole lifestyle, what they put in their body, all of this. So it's like, it's hard to really get clear and trust when you are in that situation.
Yep.
It's like you have to do the work around that, and then your gut is your path. But it's just, again, it's having enough trust in the world and what it is and what your path is to be open. It's like the daily mantra I love to live by. And it's live with intention, but in discovery at all times.
So always stay open.
Have intention, have the right intention there, but you know, you can have your vision, but like God has a plan. And you won't override that, man.
Yeah.
You think you can and you can try, but you won't.
I love that.
So it's like have strong intention, live your day with intention, but let it unfold.
And that's when you can just let go and so it's bro, this is, you're talking my vocabulary right now. It's such a beautiful thing when you can hand it over to God. It's like, you move effortlessly, but with more, like obviously with intention, but you move in effortlessly and things are just happening in front of your eyes. That's one thing I've noticed the last couple of years is things just, even Unwind, it just magically appeared at the right spot, at the right time, with the right person, on the right corner, like surrounded by everything else that I'm already connected with. And I was like, I had nothing to do with this. This was God's work.
It is better than on that. It's like, yeah, but you were the person that you needed to be for this to unfold.
Yeah.
So it's like we can say it's like it's the path, but it's if you didn't do the work on yourself and you didn't partake in what you have for the past few years and been on your journey, this may not have happened.
Yeah. That's why you look at it as like, I'm supposed to be the one to do this, especially with you now, with all the breathwork stuff you're doing and everything you're doing. You're still in Lennox Head, aren't you?
So I'm moving back there actually in February.
Okay.
But I moved a couple beaches south, like 5 minutes.
Okay.
So
what's with the move
Beach.
back?
Oh, I live in a studio, so I'm in a 6 spot now.
Okay.
Dead across the road from a beautiful little surf beach. Yeah. But just need a little bit more space for what I'm doing.
Okay, cool.
I need a desk. I need a few things. So
yeah,
moving back into Lennox, which is a bit closer to Byron as well. And I've got a few really good friends in Lennox. Yeah,
so with that journey, so you moved to Lennox Head, you know no one, you've had this abundant amount of time of stillness. You're on this journey. Was there any part of you that was there fear wrapped around it? Was there like obviously the unknown can be a fearful place for a lot of people, but tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like what you're talking about is that faith was just on your side from that point.
Nah, when I was in Lennox Head, man, I remember just sitting there and I was like, this is me now.
Okay.
Like I'm meant to be here. I'm not meant to be back in Western Sydney. I knew what would happen if I come back here. I knew you're a product of your environment. Like we're all the same, yeah?
Yeah.
We're all born the same. Yes, there's a biological, like genetical factor in that, which is strong, but we're all born this little soul that wants love. We're made up of the same thing that stars are.
Yeah.
So when we're born, okay, it's our environment that shapes us. We're a product of our environment. And it's how we choose to perceive things. So I knew that was a healthy environment up there and it was aligned with everything I wanted to do. Didn't fully know what I wanted to do. I knew I'd have intention towards something with health and things I'm passionate about. But I was just open to it, man. I was like, it's exciting. Like, who can I meet? Like Byron is a very transy place. There's so much opportunity and so many beautiful people. And I'm like, it's a bit of a game, yeah? I'm like, well, what can I do?
That's cool. And what did you do? What transpired from that point?
So,
what magical people did you randomly meet?
So, I've always been into psychedelics. They were my choice, actually, even back here.
I was waiting to be like, when are we getting into this
yeah,
shit?
So I've always liked anything to do with psychedelics, mushrooms, LSD, etc. I used to dabble in it, probably in the wrong aspect. In the wrong aspect, partying. But when I moved, I started using it with intention. Now, where I live, man, we pick mushrooms on the way home from work.
That's it.
Like, I'll knock off, even where I'm working, there's cows in the paddock. It's normal. Mushrooms are more common than alcohol where I live.
Wow.
So that and smoking, to be honest, heaps of people grow dope. That and mushrooms are like the two things in the Northern Rivers. So you're around a lot of it up there. And then I started doing a lot of work with it, man, in a healthy manner. Okay, so I started experimenting with microdosing. I started diving into the knowledge. It was super of interest. And then I was having some, I'd say, beautiful results within myself. I went inwards a few times. When I say inwards, you take 5 grams upwards, you shut your eyes, you make like a little ceremony. Okay, so you do it at home in a safe place. You could have a trip sitter if you're not feeling comfortable. And mate, the first time was powerful. I remember the second time specifically. I see my whole life unfold. So I was in my room. It was dark.
By yourself?
Yeah, by myself.
Yeah.
And then I remember trying to talk to my brother about it after, and he's like, dude, you did this by yourself. Like, are you okay? Like, everything. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I feel really comfortable with this now. And mate, my mind was a computer. It took me back to when I was more or less born. Okay, so a little bit after that, everyone in my life, from preschool, I forgot about these people. Preschool, primary school, all the years through who I hung around, why I hung around them, what was missing within myself, the dynamic, how I was acting, me at school, back to being a boy, why I acted that way, why I choose to hang around these people. all the way up until that day I took it that night. And I sat there and my mind was purely, still remember it like a computer. And it was like, what do I want to dive into? And it goes back to like the desktop. And then it was like, I remember picking up a pen after. I was sitting at my kitchen table, man, I cried. And I fucking cried my eyes out. And I still remember writing the first sentence, and it was like, I've been here. Like I've been here before. And I just sat there, man. It was everything from every relationship I ever had. Like, it was wild. And then I remember standing on my balcony, and I looked up to the sky, and I think, sure, it was a full moon. And I was like, I want what's next. And I still remember asking it, like voicing that, speaking out loud. It's like, I want what's next. And I was like, I just left it at that. A week and a half later, I got a message off a buddy that's been traveling. Just having a yarn about him, like his life. We used to party together a lot. He's from Cronulla. He's like, man, I've got a mate you should actually meet. I was like, yeah, sick. He's a mate of yours. Like, he's one of my really good friends. It's like, I'm open to it. Like, send him your number. And this dude messaged me. And then I clicked on his like website link, and I'm like, oh. It was like, he works with Toad.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't fully know what I was walking into. But I'm like, I remember getting the message, and I'm like, I can't say no to this.
Yeah.
Like, I asked.
True. Yeah, you did 2 weeks ago.
It was like, so I've asked, and now it's here. It's like, fuck. So I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I've heard about Toad. Like, you see Mike Tyson talk about Toad as in, like, he found this Toad that changed his life. And I'm like, yeah, I've partied and stuff. Like, I like psychedelics, but this is like 5-MeO DMT.
Whole different ball game.
So 5-MeO DMT is the feeling of death. When we finish this realm, as such, your body floods with 5-MeO DMT, and that's it. So we're teeing it up. We're trying to align, and it was very aligned. He's from Mullumbimby, typically. Okay.
Yeah.
So he got back from his travels, and he asked whether I wanted to do it at my house or a bush temple. I'm like, sick, bush temple sounds authentic. I'm like, sweet. So meet me at Mullum Library. I'm like, done. So I meet this dude at Mullum Library, jump in his car. I'm like, fuck, man, he could have taken me anyway.
He's
like,
about to.
Don't think like this.
Yeah.
Like, just be sweet. It's all good. He's a mate of,
Yeah.
as I mentioned. And we go out to the back of Wongdanui, which is like out the back of Mullum, no reception. I'm like, fucking so vulnerable. I'm like, I've got no idea, really. I didn't actually look into it too much. I was like, I asked for it. It is what it is. I'm not going to wig out. I'm not going to dive into it. I'm meant to do it.
That's good you got that thought process in that period, but you know what I mean?
I'm like, just staying strong with it. You know what I mean? Like, it was meant for me.
Yeah.
Sit down. And he makes like, he honors the space. He's like doing all his shaman vibe. And then I smoked 3 rounds of it. The first round's a handshake round to see your dose.
Yep.
Second round, it's a flood dose.
Oh, wow.
Third round, they offer. It's like, fuck, I'm here.
Yep.
Like, yeah, a round of gratitude. It's wild.
Yep.
It's a feeling, man, that I'll be honest, you cannot explain to someone unless they've sat it.
Okay. Yeah.
It is such a profound, fuck, man, out of this world. Like, I was already on my journey. I was already healthy. I was already positive. I was looking at life like beautifully.
Yeah.
After this, gave life a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
The depth, the love for things, the how you look at everything. It's your life flashes before your eyes. You sink, but there's no visuals. So I've smoked normal DMT as well through a vape, actually, not a full wild breakthrough. But 5-MeO specifically was through a pipe. Now, 5-MeO was from a cane toad, so it's a cousin of the bufo, okay, and it's harvested in Mexico. It burrows under the ground 9 months of the year. So they squeeze the 2 glands on its back, and there's families over there that harvest it for shamans. So these shaman dudes are all connected, as I know you know, and they're all link up, and they have these medicine. It's gnarly. So it was smoke literally through a pipe, but you just inhale it. You don't exhale. So you get to a point of toking this thing that you more or less just dissolve.
Yeah. Fuck.
And then you're in the deepest, most profound state of meditation you can ever visualize. And it's timeless. So there's no you anymore. Like you are fully
one with
disconnected. There's no visuals, and it's you. But I seen like a bit of a white light, and that was it. And then, man, after it, like I remember standing up and looking at my body. I'm in the bush at the back of fucking Wongdanui, and I'm like looking at my body, and I'm like, okay, like so that's beau. And you're trying to kind of come back to it, and then he's like, well, now the fun part. He's like, hop in the car, and you're just like, car, like normal life. Your whole life is just. I think about that every day.
Things will never be the same again after that.
No. So that there is a point in my life that you can try to explain to people, even voicing it like this, but unless you've actually sat that man, it's like, it doesn't do it justice.
Those 3 rounds you did, what was the gap between those rounds?
So your ego can either fight it or you can sit. Okay. Now I was lucky to sit and I had a full release. So I remember, I don't know whether I actually screamed, man, but I remember internally when I had that flood dose in the middle, it was like my ego. It's like the first time, so I'm 26, I think I did that when I was 25. First time in my life, it's like there's no ego. Okay, so the rounds were about, give or take, a little bit over 20 minutes. I believe if your ego fights it, I think it might be a little bit less. But I was able to sit, apparently sat like a monk. In the second round, I just had a full fucking release. And I purged. I woke up backwards. I remember waking up and the dude wasn't in front of me. And I'm like, well, I don't even know. Like, I'm just going to just sit here and breathe. And he's laughing behind me. Yeah. And I remember looking at him.
It was just you and him?
Just me and him.
Yeah, wow.
Me and him. And I remember asking him in the car, like, so what are we doing? He's like, you just wait. And I was like, sweet. Like, I trust you. I trust my mate deeply.
Yeah.
The fella that I did, I've had a lot of history with, and he's a beautiful man. And I've got a lot of trust in him. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this is, like I said, I asked. So 3 rounds. I don't think you would need any more, to be honest. Actually planning to sit it again at the start of next year.
Yeah, wow.
With a different...
have you done it since then?
No, I've done Cambo since then.
Yeah, okay.
Which is another form of medicine. But Toad, with a buddy of mine that I sat the sweat lodge with, his dad is a medicine man.
Oh, wow.
So he grew up very spiritually, very active. I think he sat medicine when he was pretty young. So connection-wise, he's one of my brothers. Yeah. And we spoke, and whenever that aligns, sometime within hopefully the first 6 months of next year, I'll sit Toad again.
It'll do its thing.
Yeah.
That Toad thing, man, everything you say in that's very similar to that ego death feeling. Like whether it's the exact same thing or that, you know, because that when you become disintegrated, it was like fully black. And it was like timeless. And it was just in this realm of like, I felt like I was everything but nothing at once.
And it's beautiful.
And it was like, I'm happy to live here for the rest of my life. And I was carried, you know, and it was just, and then that's when it come out. I'm like, I feel like I just died.
So what was your feeling after with the whole plant medicine? Because I've heard a bit about your story with it. After that, so when you walk out of that ceremony, so that was the first ceremony you've sat?
Yes. It was the second night it was the second ceremony, so it was the second night.
Second, how did you find going back to normal life?
It was the most difficult thing ever because everything was just, I remember looking at my phone and I was looking at the photo of my girls and I'm like, that's my kids. Like everything was brand new. All my senses came back 20 minutes gaps. So it took 20 minutes for each sense to slowly come back. Because after the trip, when I come out of it and I'm like, I feel like I just died. And Sean's like, tell me what happened. I'm like, I was in this place. And he's just like, all right, that's enough. This is going to take a while.
Void.
Yeah. And it just took an hour to get every sense back. He was massive. He couldn't touch me. I was too sensitive. I couldn't close my eyes. Him talking didn't hurt, but it felt funny. Like him talking, I could feel the particles in my ear of like a voice. So it was just like each sense slowly came back one by one. Touch, see, smell, hear, feel. And then that's when and then everything was like, life will never be the same again after that period.
It's a bodily, I haven't explored all of them. I plan to. When it aligns, that's something, I find it so interesting. It's like you're only going to explore more depths of yourself. But what you even just said about your senses is interesting because don't quote me on this, but our senses only pick up on so much percentage of this world that we live in.
Okay.
So like we don't actually fully get everything that's in our vicinity right here.
Yeah, wow.
Which is so interesting.
Fuck. And then with that, and even just that experience of like getting back in the car, like
Dude.
what was it like when you was just dropping you back? You was just heading back into town.
Man, I remember him dropping me at Mullum Library, and I'm like, I got in my car, I'm like, I'd love to talk to my brother about this, I'll try. So I can't talk to my parents, like I'm going to tell them.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they going to say? I was lucky that one of my buddies had sat.
Okay.
So I was like, dude, rang him, had a yarn with him. He's like, yeah, you've done it. And he was able, I felt seen. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But the 2 weeks after, gnarly. Like you're questioning everything.
Yeah.
Like I always did anyway. Like I said, I was always inquisitive about life, but I'm talking like you feel one with everything. And then there's a warning not to really do breath work because breath work can re-enhance it.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, great. I'd breathe every day.
Yeah.
I'm studying this. So
Yeah.
it was like in a healthy manner, but it was like, it was still very active because what they say is it's like, so like I said, I was 25. So imagine building an ego. An ego is not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. An ego is a beautiful construct because it's very honest, but it's being aware of that and being able to act and catch it before certain things play out. People do get this thing of like, oh, he's very egotistic and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, it's a way to voice that, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So, but it's like building that ego up for 25 years, shaking a bottle and pulling the cork off it.
Yeah.
For the first time. So this is really active within us. We've got 5-MeO DMT in us, which I find so interesting.
Yeah.
It's like these things are not so frowned upon, but normal people can't have these conversations. So you try and talk to them and they think you're mad.
Yeah.
But it's like it's in you.
Yeah.
It's just been woke. So it's like you feel very active for a while after.
Yeah. And because I remember doing, after the ayahuasca, I remember we did rape the day after in a waterfall.
How do you find that?
I'm a fan of it after, but during it, I purge like no other. I purge more from rape than I do ayahuasca.
Did you?
I was purging when he hit me with the rape the day before we did the medicine. I'm like purging straight away. It just
grounding.
It just fucking, it just bubbles in my belly, and I just start heaving. So we did that the next 2 days after the ayahuasca, after the ego death. We went down into a waterfall and did rape, and it fucking shot me off again. Like we talking about, I shot off again. I'm like, mate, I'm back to where I was.
Because it's in us, man. Like I as DMT as well. They're just like different variations of it.
Yeah.
So it's woke. So these things are just, they kind of keep playing within us. It's like you're an active circuit. And it's beautiful, but it's something to be conscious of because it's something I believe everyone should try and encounter in their life because it changed the world.
Yep.
But you can see how it's not for everyone.
100%. That's why a lot of people said, oh, I should go do it. I'm like, I think you should start with some meditation and some breath work.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of work that needs to go into having a really beautiful experience. So I think we could both agree that the years of prior to you doing the smoking the toad, is that what you'd say? Smoking
toad, 5-MeO.
Yeah. And then me doing the ayahuasca, it basically like doing the ayahuasca was icing on the cake from the cake that I built with all the ingredients that I built up after that. Like it took me 2 years of self-development growth to go, right, we're just going to really just put some good icing over that cake. And it really solidified everything. It was like it all made sense at that point of everything that I did leading up to that point.
And as I mentioned before, it's like if you didn't do that work, it wouldn't have found you. That's what I believe.
Yeah, 100%.
You can go and look for it and find it and whatever, and it's like, cool. But it's like when it finds you, it's like that's meant for you, man.
And that's really cool because I know you've said it a couple of times now, like if it aligns, which I love because that openness of like, it might not align. I want it to be in the first 6 months of next year, but I'm open for it not to be. And it's like, it doesn't mean and that's what I love because I brought it up on the last podcast I did. It's like, it doesn't mean you sit at home and wait for it to land on your doorstep. You've just got to be open enough and aware enough for all these little signs to land, and it just lines up perfectly, and that's your sign to go, I'm going to move there. Well, how many people that have that addictive personality, and I've had people I've spoken to before been like, I'm going to go do ayahuasca. And I'm like, no, you want to go do ayahuasca because you think it's going to get you out of something. And it's like that attachment alone isn't going to get you to the place you want to get to. No. You know what I mean? So a lot of people do have that thing of like, I want to heal, I'm just going to go do this and it'll heal me.
Because they hear these stories and go, oh, fuck, like it sounds great and it sounds this, but man, it's not all beauty.
No,
like it's fucking confronting.
Yeah.
Like I said, after it, you can see how it isn't for everyone. Like you wish it was. And if everyone did the work and it was on their path, it's like sweet, it aligns. But if you're not and you're not in a good headspace, man, your mind can wander.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. Like people don't comprehend what you're saying.
A guy that I went a couple months before I went this second time around, he had schizophrenia and he had it and he had the ayahuasca. And no one at the medicine knew. He freaked out in the medicine, started running through the jungle. The shaman had to go get him. Then he started freaking out, thinking there was a bad energy in the room. And the guy that I know that went was like, just threw me off. Like I had to go back again just to relive a better experience. And like, it can really throw you around if you're going, you need to be going in with good intentions and you need to, in your soul if you're doing the best work you can. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like you get that little whisper like, shouldn't be doing that. What are you doing? That's not aligned with you. Like we all have that voice, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're pure to the best of your being, but also knowing that you're human, you're still going to have days that you're going to miss the mark, you know? I feel like then that's your cue to be like, cool. Because I remember the first thing Sean said in the medicine was like, you need to surrender to whatever comes up. And I think that's why my experience was it was a deep experience, but I didn't have big ebbs and flows because I just surrendered. The second that I felt like I was dying, I just surrendered to it, you know, and I think that's what brought on and enhanced the experience of just surrendering to what is.
And there's powerful in surrender. So what you're saying there in medicine, it's like, it's beautiful to go and sit these medicines, yeah, but it's like, what the important part is integrating that into life.
Yeah.
So what you just said then about surrender, it's like, that's what we're saying with alignment.
Yeah.
So you just surrender to the process. Like it's hard to see sometimes, but there's power in that. And it's not like you're not doing the work or you're not doing this, but it's like I said, man, there's a plan. And it's fucking greater than we realize.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact of living by that every day. And your journey will just keep unfolding.
Deeper, and you think not going to get any deeper, and then you just see this new layer, and you're like, "Fuck me, here we go again."
And it's all so interesting. Like there's a few medicines, man. There's a few out there, and they're fucking all of interest.
Yeah. So with the, I'd love to get back to that. So after the toad, you've been dropped back off. You've had that conversation, and then how was the next say? Because when was that? That was last year. You did the toad.
Yeah. So I actually, to be honest, split with my partner 2 weeks after that. So it was like gnarly. It was so aligned in the timing.
Yeah.
Went and did that and everything was just like, yeah, it was wild.
So when did you do it last year?
Yeah, probably mid last year.
So 2024.
Yeah. Well, I'm 26 now. So it was when I was 25. Would have been mid last year.
Okay, cool. So we're about 18 months out.
Yeah.
And how's that? And all right, so now we're going to the last 18 months since that.
Cambo was on my path. So I'm not sure if you know about Cambo at all.
The guy that I went and seen did Cambo months prior, but I don't know what happened, but we didn't do it. We were supposed to do it, but we didn't do it.
So it's a green detox.
That's where they burn you and you just bubble up.
So coincidentally, I've done both frogs. So I've done 5-MeO, which is from a toad, and then Cambo, which is from, I think they call it a green monkey tree frog. Don't quote me on that, from the Amazon. And it's a peptide. So the frog's not harmed. They more or less capture it, tickle it, and this pus as such, like oozes off its back. Now, that frog is fearless. It's got no predators. So its nervous system is constantly in rest.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was beautiful. When I went to go sit the ceremony, a Brazilian dude was there, and he's done it a fair few times, and he voiced that, and it was beautiful. The way he said it when we were all sitting around with our buckets.
Ready to roll.
So, yeah, they walk around, you go there, okay, you can't do it fasted. I did a 3-day water fast 7 days prior, so it was fine. I did a 3-day water fast, cleared the system, ate good food for a week, and then you have to drink 2 litres of water when you get there, and they give you a bucket. And you're like, okay, I'm in this beautiful temple, everything feels magic, like, here's your bucket. Like, sweet. You just sit down, man. Breathing again, meditating, 2 key things, because it's like you can see you're sitting in a room, it's pretty, you don't know I didn't know anyone. I wanted to do it. I'm in this chat, I knew the people holding the space. I didn't have a car that day, and I'm like, this has to work, and it worked. So I'm like, I'm going. Went there, they read the room, so they walk around, they burn little holes in your arm. Okay, now that hole like starts to blister. Okay, they walk back around and they put the medicine in. You've got about a minute and your whole body's taken over. It's like again, it's a bodily feeling, but it's not psychedelic. So it starts to build up from, say, like your legs, starts to overtake your body, goes to your head's hot, and it's just a rush. So you're just breathing. You're just sitting there breathing, okay? And then you just purge. Some people don't purge, some people dry purge. I purged for about 20 minutes. So it's not pleasant. Yeah. Like you're literally sitting there with a bucket, man. I felt probably a sixth of a normal, not even, probably like a quarter of like a normal typical garden bucket. And it's just everything that your body no longer needs, like anything that no longer serves you.
Was it your guts that started to get funny with it?
Yeah, so I was able to purge, like I said, because you drink water. Some people don't have a lot, but they still clear. They say it releases, so Cambo releases anything that no longer serves you. It's a green detox.
Yeah.
So bad omens, bad energy, etc. It's a full reset.
But it can come out through sweat and everything else as well.
It's fuck, man. It's intense.
Yeah.
Like it's not a joke. Like your body, it's this bodily feeling that, again, you have to surrender. You can't, once it's in, like you got about a minute and you're not fighting it. Yeah. You're throwing up with the medicine. So when you can't fight it. And again, another beautiful experience. It's not at the time. Like when you tell people, everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? Like you're going somewhere to purge. But it's like, our body's a vessel, yeah. I'll do anything I can to honour that.
Yeah, I love that.
If it means going and sitting there and it's like, you look back at these things and these things that I have practiced, like a sweat lodge. So for example, the weekend, it's like they're not easy. And I'm not saying this in an egotistic way. It's like they force growth, man. They make you realise. Yeah. It's not meant to be easy.
Otherwise everyone would do it.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah. And it's hard for people to actually, like you said, understand that, especially when it's like, yeah, once again, you're going to do something that will put your body in an uncomfortable position, but still it builds that tolerance of knowing that in the day-to-day life, when things really do when your back does get up against the wall of little things that happen throughout your day, it's like, man, I've done some deep work. My body can handle a lot of stuff and I come out of it. One thing my mate told me before I went to the jungle was like, there's a start, there's a middle, there's an end. And I remember hearing that. It was such a profound quote. And he's like, it'll make sense after, but remember what I said. And I remember in the middle of it being like, there's a middle and then there's going to be an end. Like this will pass, like everything.
It does. Yeah. But it's like I guess anything. You look at it at the end and you reflect and it all happened for a reason. And the person you are at the end of these things is, fuck, I look back and it's like the person I was before I sat that. Yeah, it was different. The person I was before I sat Toad was definitely different.
Yeah, that seems like that was the one that made the penny really
Dude,
it's hard to put into words, huh?
You can't. I really, like when that does feel aligned for you and it's something that's, if you're open to it, man, it's the most beautiful thing I could ever, like I said, I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And I think about it every day.
Wow. That's beautiful. I love that.
Because it reminds me constantly we're a part of something so much more.
Yep. There's a power out there bigger than you and I controlling this whole bad boy.
Yeah. And you'd be the same, I can imagine, once you have that experience, let's say little things don't matter because everything has a part, but you're not as fussed, man. No. You're just like...
The best way to describe it, and it's not the same, but I use it as an example, is that movie Limitless, where he takes the pill. Have you seen that movie Limitless? Okay.
I've heard about it.
Okay, yeah.
To be honest, I haven't had a TV in 4 years.
Oh, there you go.
I don't. Anyone that knows me knows you can talk about whatever movie. I don't.
There you go.
Yeah.
But this Limitless movie where this guy takes a tablet and it unlocks his part of the side of his brain and things never be the same again. I feel like that's similar to the medicine stuff. It just gives you this, and that's where I know that for me personally with the ayahuasca, it was like it hit a layer of me that I've never hit before. One, whether I started my life there, it felt like that was the case because it felt like a new birth. So it felt like this is new, but I've been here before. That's why I felt safe in that space. When I was born, it was the exact same feeling. But I'm sure it was. That's what they say, the reborn of it. But still, it just knows that, like, once again, if my back's up against a wall or something happens, I've got this deeper layer of faith that I can access, being like, it's honestly all good. Where before, prior to the medicine, it was like, oh, no, I've got to step in and control it. I've got to make it work, Even build and unwind. The development and the peace and acceptance and faith I have in this place compared to G3, holy fucking shit.
Different stories.
Two completely different stories. And I know there's a 7-year gap, but the control I had at G3, it needs to be this way, otherwise not. And I'd push and shove and crawl and scratch to ensure that this little thing that actually means nothing has to be this way, and then breathe for a second because I got through it, and then go again, compared to unwind. And I work more effectively here now because I'm not stressing about the way it should be. I just continuously move like Pac-Man. You know what I mean? You find a roadblock, just come back. And it's like accepting and having that faith. And that's one thing I want to get into, or definitely want to touch on that subject, is just the deeper the faith is and the more aligned you can be, one, the more days are so much longer and you're just so present in whatever's going on. Like I said, I'm sure you've had an amazing present day today, you know, but then you just start to just observe and you start to watch your life play out like a movie, and you're the director of being able to pivot and move, but then knowing that there's a bigger director out there being like, okay, well, I don't know where to go here, but I'm going to let go and I'm going to let you step in and do what you got to do.
An analogy I like to refer to is like, we're all dealt a deck of cards, but it's up to you how you kind of play them.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're your cards. So like God gives you the cards. So you're not picking and choosing, but it's like, what am I doing? Like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
And you can play with it and you can kind of see how that unfolds, and you get a new deck. And it's like, it's just this kind of game of trust, but knowing, we are a part of something so much more. And then things continue to happen, which continues to build trust. Yeah. Whether it's the people you meet, or like this here, how this has just happened, or someone you encounter, a new opportunity. And it's just like, all these things just keep happening, and it's a positive spiral, man, because you'll forever be rewarded for the work you do. Yep. May not be straight away, but you just got to trust it will happen.
Yeah. Having faith. And that's one thing I want to move into. When did that start to transpire, when it's like about God and stuff like that for you?
So when I moved from my hometown specifically, so I've been up there for 4 years now. So I moved up there, would have been just after 21 maybe, I think. And again, I spent a lot of time by myself. So that's when all of that kind of started to happen, and I started to dive into things a little bit more. And again, not saying it's right, but my perspective is we are God. Okay. So then when I started to actually believe in that, and that was my belief, okay, it's like, well, I'll practice that. Yep. And then everything kind of grew from there. Whether it was the books I was reading, specifically say like The Power of Now, was a book I actually should read over again. That was one of the ones I read at the start. That it just aligns so much. You've got biblical references. Okay, but it's a book on spirituality. And it's like, people are so divided. I remember actually giving that to a mate once, and his mum found it. And he gave it back to me because he's Catholic. I'm like, but you're giving me a book back with references in it to the Bible. But you're just not open to it. Yeah. It was like, but there's references to what you believe in. Yeah. It's like religion's set up, everything's divide, It's divide and conflict. But it's like, I'm not saying everyone has to be spiritual. Like, it can mean something different for everyone. Whether you want to have crystals, you want to have an altar, you want to pray, you want to do this, like, it's totally fine. But the question I ask is, how do you look after yourself if you don't know what you are?
Yeah, you don't.
You can try.
Yeah.
But if you actually don't know what we are here, we're not all just walking around floating heads, man. So if you don't know what we are, how are you actually going to do yourself an honor?
That's why people let the day control them and their lives control them, and
Literally.
media and everything else.
Whoever controls the media controls the mind.
Yeah, even that, I love The Power Now, because I feel like it just questions the ego, and then it says, you're probably thinking this, but this is what I'm going to tell you. And then you move to the next part, and it's like, yeah, you're thinking this. And it's like, your thoughts are telling you this, but this is what I mean. And it just keeps taking you on this fucking spiral. And then you're like, all right, give me what you got. You know?
Literally.
Yeah.
I remember, like I said, I read that book years ago. That was one of the first, but I remember reading the part where I actually mentioned it earlier on in this, and it's like, we're made up of the same thing stars are. And I'm like, I found it so cool. Yeah. I was like, yeah, sick. Yeah. It's like, I've never heard what we're made up of. Yeah. Like school and stuff, like it's all. Yeah. And then that book there specifically, I feel on my journey helped a lot. What would you say personally, your book or something that you've read or that kind of pushed you further in that direction?
That was the Celestine Prophecy.
Actually, I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's called the Celestine Prophecy. I listened to it on a podcast from Peter Crone. He was on a podcast and he was talking about Celestine Prophecy, and it was a book and it's called at the bottom of it says An Adventure. and it's a book of a guy that goes to Peru to find the 9 insights of the world. And in the book, he doesn't have a name because you are the adventurer. So he connects with all these things. And like the first insight of the world is there's no such thing as a coincidence. So all these things happen coincidentally, and then he starts to build faith, then he starts to build trust, and then it moves into the next part of like people giving and taking energy. And there's 9 insights, and you just go on this big journey. It reminded me of that. I don't know, you might be too young. It's like the Never Ending Story. Do you remember? Okay, it was a movie back in the day of like basically like this kid would open a book and he'd die, and then he dived into the book, and then that was the movie. And it's a big dog, and like he's on this journey, and like it takes me back to sort of that feeling. And this book just would show up. Like I remember going to like, I'd go to an event and I'd get in the car and it'd be in the car and it'd just be like, what the fuck is it doing? Like it's following me. It was like God was just picking it up, putting it in front of my face. Because I wasn't getting into it. I was like, just throw it in the shelf. And then this one part, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. That's where my awakening happened, because it was so spontaneous that my life was good on a piece of paper. Like everything was sweet. But this book really accessed a part of me that now I look back and I was there before when I was born, but it made me start to question all this COVID stuff, because everyone was raging, you know, and I'm like, got all this peace, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got all this time to read and learn about myself. The gym's not open. And then I remember walking with my missus, Janae, we were walking around Jamison Park, and she's like, and I was looking at the trees, I was looking at the path, I was looking at my hands. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing's wrong. And she's like, yeah, but you're not talking like something's wrong. I'm like, that's the thing. Everything that I think is wrong is because I think it's wrong. It's like everything's good. And that was a first crack into the seal of like something's going on. And then I remember doing a 10-minute video on Instagram being like, basically like, someone help me. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm losing my mind right now. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what was happening. I was losing my mind. And some guy connected with me, listened to the video and said, can you call me? And he lives in Perth. And he's like, can you call me right now? And he called him. I'm like, is this happening? Is this happening? Is this happening? I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, you're waking up. Welcome home.
True.
And he's like, you need to connect with this guy in New Zealand. So once again, similar to you, like so then I've called this guy in New Zealand and jumped on the Zoom, and he's an awakening coach, Steve Paps, and then just connected with him and then jumped on his awakening program to learn that thoughts are not you. And
wild.
And I was just like, it felt so right. And probably it was one of the times I really just go, this feels so good. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. People are like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. But when I find out, unless you know, tell me. And then like, yeah, you look back and you, like Steve Jobs got a thing, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. So now I can see why it all just aligned. But that was the book that really shot me in the foot.
Have you read The Alchemist?
Yes. That was, so Power Now was second, Alchemist was third.
Alchemist would be my second.
Same as adventure book that takes you on a journey.
It's just a constant reminder of trust. So the dude doesn't know what's going on, but it's like, yeah, to trust. But have you ever witnessed someone awakening in person?
No.
Intense.
Yeah.
I remember camping with a mate, and we're just down surfing down south, camping in this bush, had heaps of mushrooms, and something come up, man, and I got on a bit of a tangent about it, just out of passion, about like the pharmaceutical or something. I remember my mate just looked at me, and his face dropped, and then he's like, my whole life's a lie. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what have I just done? And I'm like, dude, it's all sweet. And he's like, starts like wigging, and it's like me and him in the middle of a bush, like camping. It was so intense. And I like had to then explain to him what I was voicing, but like guide him through it. And to this day, I still feel so connected to that dude.
Yeah.
And he knows that too. Yeah. It's something he voices. He's like, there's something with me and him that's like,
we'll be there forever.
It doesn't, we don't have to see each other too often. Things, he can be doing his thing or whatnot. But that one night, it's like, I'll never forget. And it was fucking intense.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even intentional. But my thing is like, well, he needed to know that.
You were just a messenger boy that just be in front of him for that time.
I remember he was like, how do you know this? Like, what do you? And I'm like, dude, I need to get into all this.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I'm beau.
Just breathe.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was beautiful though, to be able to share that with someone. Yeah, and it happened naturally. Not sit there and try and talk to someone like you're saying. You can only, like, when you know, you'll know. Yeah. And when it unfolds like that, he's a year younger than me. Lives in Byron actually. And I was like, yeah, it's something I'll actually never forget either.
I love that. I feel like more and more people are starting to wake up from what I'm feeling. Like, whether it's just my algorithms on Instagram or whatever, but what I'm seeing is more and more people, and this is my perspective, which we'll get into and we'll go there, but my perspective is that Instagram came out, all this social media, everyone blew up. Everyone was like, fuck, we've got to create an identity now. Because prior to social media, you just be you. You'll hear a rumor around the fucking someone's pumping this chick and whatever, but not really cared because you just seen who you saw. You'd call someone on your dial up, you know what I mean? And and before, like, say, MSN and all that stuff, is just you'd connect with who you'd connect with from a human format, like talking, connecting, and then you go into your bubble and you do your thing. And I know the internet's great in the sense of, like, learning about stuff, and we've got access to so much information, but the way we go about it can be so right or so wrong. But then I just felt like Instagram and all this stuff people had to create an identity on top of the identity that were probably already fighting with, and they start posting and they start getting gratification and then state of lack and then confidence, and then you get a dopamine hit through this, and then you lose a dopamine hit because the person you went to school with is doing this, and then anyways, it's just taking everyone on this big spiral. But I feel and I hope that more and more people are starting to realize a lot more. I don't know if it's just me at the moment, but a lot more people are being vulnerable. A lot more people are talking real talk. A lot more people are coming out and being like, this is exactly what's going on, and I guess we're not going to post our downs. We're going to post our highlight reels, and it's just the way it is. But I just feel like, and I pray that this is the way, that more and more people are just going to start to wake up to realize it's one big trip. Social media is one big trip, and as long as you keep it very simple and you find out about who you are, because that's the thing you talk about. Like, we're one of one. No one has lived your exact life, right? So how do you expect anyone else to know how you should operate? And that's where social media is like, do the sauna, don't do the sauna, do the breath work, don't do the breath work. This causes cancer, this doesn't. Eat healthy, but don't. Like, then you go, hang on a second. I hope people just minds end up blowing and being like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just going to keep it real simple. I'm going to find out who I am. I'm going to go inward because I'm the only one with the answers. And then from that point, things will start to unravel. That's how I feel anyway.
No, that's right. And I feel like, again, the way society's set up, it's like there's a lot of convenience. And that creates people being comfortable, I guess. And when I say that, it's like more in the reference of looking for the silver bullet. It's easy to go and just book a sauna and feel good.
Yeah.
It's not easy to go and sit with yourself for an hour. Like it is once you've done it a few times, but still things are going to come up. And it's like, it's always easier to kind of, oh, he's doing it, it looks cool, so I'll do that too. But like what you said, it's not necessarily suited for that person. It's like the easy way isn't the way.
Yeah, and I feel like a core value for me as of late is like gratitude.
Massively.
Like, I've been going real deep into gratitude lately, and it just feels abundant. Like, I'm like, first thing I do is grateful for my family, grateful for my health, grateful that I'm here today.
Massively. Of a morning?
Of a morning, yeah. That's my morning thing. I put my feet on the ground. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my faith, and I'm grateful for my breath. Those are the three things I say.
Do you write that?
I put my feet on the ground. I say it out loud.
Say it. Yeah. So you voice it. So since I moved, when I was living not in Bundle, when I moved to Robina, I started journaling every morning, and I have every morning since I've left there.
I love that.
And I started this morning gratitude, and then I wrote out this like kind of framework, and I write that. But depends. I dump my thoughts or whatnot. But every morning, then I habit stacked it. So I have that when I have my coffee. Like, I'll get to work, I'm chipping or whatever, and it's like you'll see me out the back of my car writing. Everyone knows it.
Let him do his thing.
I write that before I go to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's probably a good way to get into that topic of like, where can people start if people want to go on some sort of journey? I feel like building things in your day, and it doesn't have to be you have to do it all tomorrow. Like, I'm going to do 10 things tomorrow. You need to just start small and start simple, to slow down enough in the morning to be able to start to go inward, to be able to start to access and find what parts of you need to access to start to feel better about yourself. Because you can't do it quick. Like, I remember, like, yep, I'm grateful for this, and this, or I'm just going to go in the car and turn on the radio. It's like, I wake up half hour earlier than I have to so I can feel the gratitude. Because the difference between saying you're grateful or feeling gratitude, you know what I mean?
Well, it's the thing of embodying it. It's the thing with breath work, actually. It's part of some of the things I do voice, and it's like making them feelings real. So it's one thing to say it, but it's one thing to actually say it. Yeah. And then to write it, to put it on paper, give your thoughts a place to go, like make it clear. So something that I'd say to people to get started is journal. Write it down. Have a book specifically for it. Reflect. Write. And if you think you don't have enough time to write, you need more time.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like the thing of breath. It's like, I don't have time. It's like, no, you do.
Yeah.
And if you're saying you don't have time, you need to allocate more time to that.
If you're saying that.
Yeah. If you're saying that, it's like, it's the actual other thing. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you do.
Yeah, I love that. And then, because for me, breath work, it's come and gone, but it hasn't, I've been more meditation and prayer,
Oof. Man, I've had some, talk about like DMT and stuff. I've had, dude, my first session I walked in, actually how that happened. I remember going to a rebirthing with my neighbor. Rebirthing's a style. Intense. Okay, so you flood your system. It's like an hour and a half. When I walked into the room before I actually breathed, I was like, this is what I want to do. I was like, I know I can, yeah. And I was like, it was a bit of a weird feeling, but I was like, okay, I'll sit with that. Mate, I had this out-of-body experience.
Watching him or you?
No, just walking into the room, ready to breathe.
Okay.
I'm like, this is me. Like, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm like, okay, interesting. So I just sat with it. Breathed for an hour and a half, and I had this fucking wild out-of-body experience. I was doing a breath hold. I remember it was like getting to a point, if I held any longer, it was like I thought I was passed out. And then I got into this no-mind state. I didn't need to breathe. I was not me. And I was like pulled away from my body. I was in the fucking void. It was gnarly. Like beautiful, but I was like, this is breath. And then from there, it was like, I got hooked. Not for the fact of just getting high and whatever on it, because but the levels you can reach, you have these mystic experiences. And I'm not saying that they specifically keep you going because it's a habit, but again, that intrigued of like, there's something so much more.
Yeah.
I've had DMT reactivations. So you can access DMT, okay? And the two ways to do that is through your lungs. I remember doing a 21-day awakening journey. So the first 7 days, I had this specific breath to do. Then there's a group meditation, next 7 days, group meditation, next 7 days. So there's some days there I was breathing, when I say breathing, like practicing breath work for an hour 20 before work. So I was getting up at 4 a.m, breathing. And man, one of the first sessions I had a DMT reactivation in my bed. And it's like, to have that through breath, it's like I was through an audible exhale. It lapsed back into nowhere near as intense as 5-MeO, but a feeling close. And I wasn't in control.
Yeah, wow.
So like it was like an audible exhale, but that continued for minutes.
Yeah, wow.
Didn't need to breathe, body like convulsing, and I'm just lying there. And then you have these little things along the way, and it's like, it's fucking interesting.
Yeah, I love that. And in regards to prayer,
don't specifically sit down and pray.
Yep. You just have conversations.
I talk.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Or I practice as in like sweat lodge.
Yeah.
So yes, I do breath. I talk. Okay. So I'll talk to God, be positive. But prayer is in an actual like ceremony kind of prayer, like church. I don't go to church.
Yeah.
Okay. But I will go to something I like to sit is sweat lodges. I've been to a couple of them. It's one of the oldest ceremonies to date. And you go there and pray.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not in a church. It's in a dome that is built. You can go there earlier as men and help build it. You collect sticks from the paddock.
That's cool.
You build this dome that's symbolic of Mother Earth, like the Earth's womb. Now, everything around it is ceremonial. So you take offerings from the land, crystals, Native American flowers. I'm sorry, not Native. It's a Native American ceremony. So native flowers, crystals, and tobacco is a thing. Tobacco in a red cloth. Now you burn that in the fire. They have the fire burning through the day. There's volcanic rocks that have been heating. Okay, they're symbolic of our ancestors. So everything here has a meaning. The way you enter, you can't cross the rocks. You got to walk around. You put your offerings. You then kneel on the ground, on the dirt, okay, and you ask permission to enter. You then enter and you sit around in a circle. And there's 4 rounds, depending on who's running it, depends on what they are. But for example, the first round might be for if there's any children around, that's their round. Okay. So then they sing a couple of songs, chant, pray, and they encourage you to voice your prayers. So you go around, you put your hand up, you ask permission to pray, and you pray out loud. It's like a manifesting portal.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's fucking hot. Like these things are like a sauna's luxury.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting on the ground on dirt and you don't get water. Sometimes you might get it in the 3rd or 4th round, but it's hot. Okay. And then they just keep pushing more rocks in each round. And each round is a different, let's say, category. But like first round could be for, say, kids, 2nd round for family, 3rd round for women in our life, 4th round's yourself.
Yeah.
And they shut the one door. So you crawl in, they shut it, they put water and they burn. I'm pretty sure it's copper on the rock. It clears your lungs. And it's pitch black. And they're playing the Native American drum. One of the first ones I went into, we had an Indigenous fella and they honoured his idiki. Most beautiful sound I've ever heard.
Yeah, wow.
So you're in there, like, they push you to the point of, man, I sat one last Sunday and round 2, true to God, I was lying on the ground on my hands and knees, like breathing the cold air off the floor. Like with my hand on my buddy next to him and he had his hand on me and we're like, fuck.
Yeah, we're in the
like
trenches.
I've got you.
Yep.
Like we're here. Like this is what we do. And then sometimes I'll undo the little flap and you get a breath of fresh air. Mate.
To take
So
that.
the appreciation of that and when you get water at the end, it makes you really strip back to basics. It's like, nah, this is where we came from.
Yep.
Like the things, everything we have here is a luxury.
Yep. And to be grateful for our lives.
Oh.
That's where
It's like a rebirthing.
100%.
Not as intense as plant medicine, nowhere, but they do serve medicine in some of them. And it's like, it's even after it. So you take fruit and coconut water and you share with everyone that you sat with.
That's cool.
So you stand after there and it's like you're connected. Like you just did something hard, man.
We just went through the trenches together. Yeah.
And you're just offering fruit. Like you want some of this, you want some of this. And then like I've done one with a Colombian fella at the start of the year and he had a beautiful like water hole on his property. So at the end, man, you know, it's like you just see this water and everyone's down there, women like no normal. I want to say humans, like no clothes, eating fruit in his back creek of someone's house. It's like
Living.
humans.
Yep. Yeah. Connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
So that's something. Prayer is like that's my thing. If there's one of them on and I'm free, that's where I go and that's specifically for.
Yeah, I love that. And that's the thing with prayer and stuff like that. Similar to me, I'll have conversations in the car with God on the way to work or on the way home and stuff like that. It's not necessarily pull my hands together, go on my knees and pray. It's whatever feels right for you. And I think that's where what I was referring to prior of like, you find your answers. Like that's the reason why I restarted this podcast. I was like, I just want to talk about people and what they're experiencing and stuff. I want people to listen, feel like they're in the room. And as they're listening to this conversation, they're also subconsciously having a conversation with themselves going, I should do that. I should start looking into that stuff. I should start to be more grateful. Like, and that's where it was like, I don't want to get on here and tell people what to do. I want to get on here and express my truth and my realness of who I am and be as authentic as possible to in turn allow people to find that within them. Because that's the thing, my biggest mission here, and it's becoming more and more evident, is to be like, find you and let that shine, because this isn't just magic. Like it comes down to consistent work. It comes down to finding who you are. And from that place, God has a big plan out there for you to be able to match, you know? And that's where I feel like talking to people like you and everyone else I've already had on, I'm getting a lot of people coming back being like, I didn't realize how good my life was. And it's like, well, that's a good start, because from that place, you continuously can come back to that.
Well, that there is somewhat mentioning gratitude. Like if you don't realize how good your life is, it's like, well, be grateful for it. And there's a question to ask. It's like, if you're not grateful, what are you?
Yeah, just doing whatever you're doing.
Dude.
And God can only give you more. And like that's the thing, I look at it as like a secret little loophole of like, how can God give you more if you can't appreciate what you've got? You know, the more gratitude I am, the more things just fall into my lap. And I'm like, how the fuck did this get here? Effortlessly. And I'm just like, this is that's where I call it magic in that realm of like, when you can move effortlessly, you know, and that's the thing I spoke about last time on the pod, which we'll get into that and then we'll wrap this bad boy up, is like the difference between pain and suffering. I still feel pain. Things still happen. I still hurt. I still feel sad. I still have days that I'm down and then up, but I don't sit with them for long. And that's the difference when you know you've developed in this journey of like, I feel pain, but suffering, I can probably tell you how many times I've suffered this year because it's lasted more than 10 hours, you know, and that's where I know I've developed. It's like, it's such a beautiful feeling.
It's like what you just said then, I look at that, it's very similar, but in the analogy of it's like getting shot with a bow and arrow kind of thing, right? It's like you can choose, yes, pain's there, but you can choose to continue to suffer.
Yeah.
So it's like you can like pull it out, whatever, get on with it, or it's like you want to suffer, you can leave it and you can just continue.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just the way to do that is the awareness around that. And I feel like that may not make sense to a lot of people. That's how I look at it. It's like a kind of double-ended sword. It's like, yeah, yes, pain's there and suffering's real, but it's like our awareness and how conscious we are dictates how much we choose to suffer.
Yeah.
And then there's people that I'd love to share. It's like I found people like a lot of people know Alan Watts, Neville Goddard, love. I listen to often. Them two specifically would be people that I would recommend for people to listen to. Yeah. They're like old philosophers.
Alan Watts, I don't know the other guy, but Alan Watts is a damn good time.
So Neville Goddard is, talking about alignment, I walked into a second-hand shop and seen this book, and I'm buying that book. I don't know what it is. It was Neville Goddard.
Yeah, there you go.
Found Neville Goddard, started diving into all his old like speeches and divine timing and this, and I listen to Neville Goddard, fuck man, I'd say daily, at least every second day.
Yeah, I love that. And that's the thing, to really strip it back for listeners, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Where do you feel like you're at? Like, where does it feel like now? You're just leaving it in God's hands? You're just enjoying the journey?
Dude, I'm open. Yeah. I live a beautiful life. I wouldn't change any of it for a thing. And I can see where I'm going. Like, my future is so clear. But it's just keep stacking days. Like, keep being that person, keep showing up, keep being grateful, keep practicing, keep breathing, keep meditating, and be of service to others where I can. Create.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to not make it about you. Like, when you get those days that you might be in, like I had a couple of days there last week, and I was like, how about I not make it about me today and just deliver a service? And then when I came back to me, I was like, I feel good, you know?
It's good. Yeah. But so, where I'm at, man, I'm open. Like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and just continue to watch it unfold. Blessed to cross paths with people like yourself and people on a similar mission, and to be of service to others where we can. Not in a forceful way, or buy this or do this or put it in your face, like you said, but it's like, this is me, this is my life, this is what I did. Like, if there's anything I can help with, like, don't be shy.
And could you come from that place too? It's very easy for people to approach, you know, like, could you coming from that place of not putting anything on anyone, and you're just being open about your story and where you're at and what feels right for you, it creates that door for people to go, you know what, I'm going to reach out and just say thanks. Or I'm going to reach out and just, be knowing that you are open to anything. It shows that a lot of people can come to you and have those conversations, rather than like, you get a lot of people on social media like, you need to be doing this and this and this. It's like, man, this is what I'm doing. If you want to try it, that's cool. People buy into your energy, you know what I mean? So even me, like, it's crazy how your intuition worked, because I was trying to connect with a guy I used to connect with for psychedelics, and he didn't reply to me for 2 days. And I remember putting it out there being like, all right, this guy hasn't replied back to me. That's okay, because I'm sure something else will land. And then you just go, hey man, just letting you know, this, and this. I've got this guy and this. If you want to just reach out, it's okay if not, but this is what I'm feeling. I'm like, that's exactly what I was looking for.
I felt it, man. Because I seen your post come up, I listened, and then I seen it again, and I'm like, you're in a bit of, I'd say a mission, but it's cool you're sharing this. And I'm like, you seem like you're inquisitive.
Yeah.
Like, if this can help there, if not, don't stress.
And the guy that I was like, because I'm reaching out for myself, but also a mate of mine, I said, my mate goes, how'd you go with that guy? No, that didn't land, because 2 days later, Beau messaged me and now this has landed. He goes, fuck, how do these things just find you, bro?
That's how it works.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for coming on, bro. I think it'd be cool to obviously get you in here for some breathwork classes and do that, because I feel like, especially people in the area, I've got a lot of men in particular, which is great, that are opening up. I think because this is one face, this is who I am. I've been in this realm for 4 or 5 years of self-development, and I think I'm getting a lot more people that are opening up, being like, this isn't a phase of Matt, this is who Matt is, and I want to find who I am, knowing that he can be like this. I can balance between the masculine and the feminine. I can be the strongest in the room, but then cry with you 20 minutes later, you know. And I think for men in particular, it's very powerful to find that balance of, you know, knowing when you've got to be the leader and strong, and then you know when you've got to be soft, you know. So I think having you come down here, and obviously you've had a bit of an experience as being on High Street today. How's that been for you?
Yeah, different, actually. There's a lot of reflection coming back here.
Yeah.
And I look forward to, man, continuing to connect with you and using this beautiful space you've built. It's, coming back to teach breathwork in Penrith will be it. I like it. Yeah, I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
Wild. But definitely, he'd help others, and it'd be cool to get some men in here, man, especially some local fellas around here, and hopefully give them something to realise.
Yeah, love that. Awesome. All right, bro. Well, you take care. Until next time.
Thanks.